A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Tonight it's all about health and a fast food fix. Kicking off with India's booming health and fitness industry, I'll be shortly joined by Gaurav Gupta, founder and CEO of Gabit, to discuss opportunities in the wellness market. And in the second segment, we are talking QSR and more with Akshay Jatia, CEO and President, Westlife Foodworld, McDonald's India. Gaurav, welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure having you today.
Thank you for having me here.
So first things first, I'm really curious to know, how did you transition from food tech at Zomato to now health tech with Gabit? What was the moment, that you realized that this is what you want to do, this is your calling?
So it all happened in COVID. Prior to COVID, I used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
But during COVID, everything came to a pause. So I actually started working out more regularly, was playing tennis regularly because I liked it, was eating good food mostly, was sleeping much better, and my health dramatically improved. I was not like this pre-COVID. I was 49 metabolically when I was 39. Now I'm 35 when I'm 43. Yeah, and I lost 15 kgs, and I realized that fitness, sleep, stress, and nutrition are the pillars of health. Now we all keep talking about longevity and the cool therapies that we can do, but I think this is the essence of longevity. Like 98% of longevity is these four pillars. Right. And I got super excited about this, and I said, whenever I want to start up again, I want to build this mission to enable people to just live healthier and longer and do this for millions of people if I can. So that's how it started.
Right, and the health tech space in India, it's buzzing right now, and Gabit, from what I understand, it's also into smart wearables, you have wellness programs, beauty products, and a host of other things as well, right? So how do you plan to really shake things up? How do you plan to really create a real impact in this sector?
So Gabit is a very unique platform globally. It's built on the thesis of interconnectedness of health.
Sure.
So if you look at fitness, nutrition, sleep, and stress, they're the four pillars that we spoke about, but they're all interconnected. If you do fitness well, you sleep better. You sleep better, you do fitness well. If you have stress, nothing goes fine. And if you eat better, you can do all of these things. And you pick up any health goal that you can think of. The other thing that we figured was that you only improve what you can measure. So we're very big on tracking health markers. So in a sense, if you look at it, we have got a smart ring that we have launched for tracking your cardiovascular data and more data around that. We got a smart scale for body composition. You've got glucose monitoring as well. And we also have just launched blood work for you to understand your blood markers. So the idea is to help people understand what they can do better and that they can improve their health. And if you look at both of these things together, it can be very powerful for a user. Imagine yourself as a user, where you can understand all this data for yourself and you can do something about it. We've launched our wearable, and again, unlike most other wearables, we've bolted on all these four pillars of health onto the wearable. So there's a smart ring, and we bolted on all those four pillars. So you can actually do your workouts. There's fitness, there is sleep. You can look at your sleep stages. There's stress. We've also bolted on nutrition on top of it.
Sure.
So you can actually log your food by just speaking to the phone. It's an AI-based food log that we've launched. So I log my food by saying 3 scrambled eggs in the morning for breakfast, 1 chicken salad for dinner. It logs my food. And since you're wearing it all the time, it actually tracks your calories out during the day. We're the only wearable in the world which actually gives you a calorie balance at the end of the day. Like, are you deficit or surplus on this? So that's around tracking, but then we've also gone ahead and done very good products for customers. For example, healthy skin is a goal that we're very bullish on. And we said, let's build out really good quality products for people in terms of their skin concern and skin type. So we've done that. We took 2 years to build those formulations and getting amazing customer feedback on that. So I think good quality execution, in addition to tracking, will actually change the game of improving health for people.
Fantastic. Now, zooming out a little bit and talking about the wellness space here in India, I think there's a lot more awareness. People are a lot more conscious about their health, nutrition, wellness in totality. Talk to us a little bit about the kind of opportunities that you see for businesses in this industry.
I think one of the key trends that is picking on, and India still needs to catch up, is preventive health. I think we all need to take care of our health, and health should be accessible to all. And that's our mission as well. We try to make health as aspirational, like get good quality products, but make them affordable as well. So that is very important for us.
Right. As we're looking into 2025 as well, right? What role do you see technology? And I know that, at Gabit, you have integrated a lot of AI-based, I think you have a skin bot, you have a fit bot, right? So how do you see AI and technology, really reshaping wellness and fitness?
I think the combination of knowledge in form of science and the power of AI, the intelligence, is very, very powerful. And I think there is tremendous application in health for that. For example, we've launched PEP a month back. It's our AI health coach for our Ring customers. So now, for example, I can talk to PEP and try to understand what is the correlation between my sleep and fitness. How am I doing in terms of the day? Am I recovering well or not? And it talks to me. And it's just the beginning. We're going to extend this to all the other tracking that we do. So as a customer, you can understand from all the data that you have for yourself whether you're doing well or not. And I think that's very interesting. We've done the same thing with a tool called Foodbot. We understand that a lot of people cannot have access to coaches. They want to work out on their own. So when they come on the Gabit app, the Fitbot measures your reps, gives you a posture score. Like burpees is a very difficult movement to do. It actually tracks your burpees completely. We got a skin bit which essentially you take an image and it'll actually give you a skin score. It'll tell you whether like acne or hydration, what levels are those on. And I think the list goes on. Like the food log that I spoke about. Like, we understood from customers that logging food is a pain, right? And that's why most people don't do it.
That's
so
right.
now AI has enabled us to do it based on voice, right? You can just speak to it and actually it logs food. And I think this is just the beginning for us. For example, we're now working with professors and MDs from Harvard, Oxford, and Ames to actually build the next level of insight that we can do for predictive health. Could we tell you tomorrow that you're going to fall sick? And can you do something about it today? Right? Or you could actually be coming against a major disease in the future and you can do something about it today. So I think the power of using that, again, that science along with the intelligence is massive, and that's what we're working on right now.
So Gaurav, I also read that you have raised $9.5 million in seed funding. So for all the entrepreneurs watching our show today, I have two questions for you in two parts actually. The first would be, your advice for entrepreneurs, who want to raise funding, who want to pitch to investors. What would your advice be? And the second part of the question would be, how do you plan to then scale Gabit using the funds that you have received?
So I think when you raise funds or when you get like any team member on board, I think it's the same concept in my view. And that's how I always looked at it. Always try to get people on board on your journey who believe in what you're doing, like you believe in what you're doing. Because I think that is what helps you in the longer term. So I think that's one advice I would have. In terms of scaling Gabit, I think for us, fundamentally, we've just been in the market with customers for 10 months. And in 10 months, we've become very synonymous to just health and wellness in India, wearables tracking in India. And I think it's been just a result of good quality products being made available to customers. And I think that's what we're here for. So if more and more happy customers are out there, it'll actually help us scale much, much better because people are looking for something that can help them improve their health.
Fantastic. Gaurav, you are a co-founder at Zomato. Tell me, what were some of the key lessons that you learned along the way, and are you doing something differently at Gabit? Is your approach different?
So again, building Zomato was like tremendous learnings for me. It's like learnings for a lifetime.
Right.
And when you build so much, so intensely and passionately, it becomes your subconscious nature. It's like driving a car. You don't even think about what you do.
Right.
But I think one of the things that I really learned, and I keep it to my heart, is that you have to understand and listen to customers. There's a lot that they share with you. If you just as a founder keep your eyes and ears open, there's a lot that you can build, which can be very, very useful for customers. And again, you should also be very, very careful about what is not working. And be very dispassionate about saying, okay, it's not working, just let me move on from here.
Right.
I'll give you a small example. When we launched our Smart Ring, a lot of customers asked for, let's say, gifting. They said, can we gift it to someone? We said, absolutely. But then we went ahead and asked them, who do you want to gift it to? And a lot of kids said, we want to gift to our parents because we want to just get a sense of how their health is.
Okay.
And then we said, okay, why don't we just take this ahead? So we actually just not launched gifting, but we launched a feature where on the click of a button, it's completely user consent based. You can share as parents your data with your kids. And the app currently transforms to completely their data. We are probably the only wearable in the world to do that. And now doctors are loving it. They're actually, it's like telling their patients to put on the ring so that they can track their vitals, and they can also get access to that. Even fitness coaches can actually benefit with their customers to that.
Nice.
So I think it's just about this. Now, we got so much love for this feature that tells you that, okay, you have to just, the good quality products just come from all of this and nothing else.
Right. And finally, as we are wrapping up this interview, tell me, what is your long-term vision for Gabit? How do you see it, especially in 2025? What is your vision?
So Gabit's vision has always been to enable everyone to live healthier and longer. We want to be there for any key health goal that a customer wants to address, which I've already talked about. And the idea is to be able to give them tracking, products and services, for example, plans led by coaches. So we have actually plans for customers where they can actually take live fitness classes with them every week.
Sure.
They also get a nutrition coach who works with them to actually help improve the nutrition. We also assign them a clinical psychologist as a habit coach. So essentially, that habit coach helps them understand why do they do what they do at a deeper level, so they can change their behavior. Right. I think Gabit is all about, it's a take on good habits. It's one word for good habits that we've coined.
Yeah.
And we encourage everybody to actually start saying Gabits instead of good habits now. And the question I have is like, the philosophy is that pick up something that you can follow for life, because that can lead to an impact, and don't go after faddish behavior. So the question to like everyone is like, what's your Gabit today? What Gabits are you picking up? That's what we are all about. Yeah.
Fantastic. It was lovely chatting with you, Gaurav. All the best, and we hope to have a chat with you soon again, maybe in a couple of months.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In this segment, we have Akshay Jatia, CEO and President, Westlife Foodworld, McDonald's India, on the hot seat, who spoke to Hrishita Kumar on the rapid growth of India's QSR market, driven by evolving consumer preferences and digitization. He also emphasized McDonald's India's focus on innovation and plans to strengthen its leadership in the industry. Listen in.
Hello Akshay, thank you so much for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Very happy to be here and really looking forward to our conversation today.
Now my first question for you is, the Indian QSR industry, is about to hit the $38 billion mark by 2029. So as one of the most prominent players in this industry, what are the key opportunities and what, according to you, are the growth drivers of the same?
So, that's a great question. I think consumption, QSR, all are very, strong areas of growth. Obviously, key parts of India's consumption and growth story. So being in this space, number one, is very exciting. I think, when we started back in 1996, it was a very small nascent space, and a lot of people were very skeptical in terms of, QSR becoming a normal habit of eating, because, most people are used to either eating at home or eating out, occasionally, whereas QSR requires high frequency. So that's been, a great journey. And I think moving forward, number one, the Indian consumer is very aspirational, and as urbanization is growing, as people are getting busier, especially more women entering the workforce, I think there's a huge opportunity for brands like ours to take up more of a share in terms of people's eating out or food eating habits. Number two, I think the digital eco space is one of the most fascinating and evolving ones in India. Almost, I learned this recently, almost 50% of the world's digital transactions happen in India. And I think, again, being so close to the customer and having such a strong digital connection with the customer gives us a great opportunity to leverage that growth. So that's also very exciting. And, being omni-channel is something that we take a lot of pride in. And lastly, I think obviously store expansion. The country is growing in terms of GDP, in terms of more people aspiring to spend, more people aspiring to enter the workforce. So I think apart from your key metros where we've done extremely well, you're seeing a lot of growth across tier 2, tier 3s, and that gives us a great opportunity to exponentially expand our restaurant base. So I think these are three big drivers of growth moving forward.
Great, Akshay. It looks like a promising sector, but with this comes a lot of economic upheavals and a lot of uncertainty. So how do you think companies and brands can cater to these changing consumer preferences?
So yes, the world is very volatile today, more so than it was when we started out. Obviously, the journey for us has always been challenging because we've been creating a new, habit. And I think today we're in a much better place, but it still remains challenging. So the customers become even more intelligent and aware. So that makes it even more crucial for us to keep the customer at the center of everything we do. And I think successful brands do that very well. And we're kind of replicating that as we learn from global brands, local brands that have done really well, to ensure that we keep in mind that the customers' tastes are constantly changing, the customers' preferences in terms of where they order from are constantly changing, and we've been able to stay very relevant.
Apart from that, one of the consumer trends that we are witnessing is the rise of healthy conscious eating. So how do you think fast food brands in particular can sort of incorporate that into their menus?
So this is actually a topic, I'm very passionate about, because I think that obviously conscious eating is essential, to live a healthy life. And I think brands like us actually have a fantastic opportunity to lead from the front. So actually a lot of the work that we've been doing over the years, even before this became, extremely relevant, is to ensure that we offer wholesome and nutritious food to our customers. So from day one, we've been trying to reduce trans fat, reduce oil content, for example, in our sauces. We've in fact even got our aloo tikki certified as a balanced meal. So it has the right amount of carbohydrates, protein and fat for you to have a balanced meal when you have a meal at McDonald's comprising of the aloo tikki. And we're trying to take that thinking into all our products.
Now, adding to this only, McDonald's has had a presence in India since 1996. How has Westlife Foodworld innovated over the years? Also, please tell us about AI and digitization in your operations. For instance, the experience of the future concept. What is that about?
So actually, my dad says this very well, and he's been saying this, since I was very early in the business, that every 5-6 years we have got to innovate and change ourselves to the degree that customers see a big noticeable change in our restaurants. Obviously the values and the tenets of McDonald's remain the same, but the experience has to only evolve. And you will see a huge difference versus when you enter a McDonald's in '96 to when you do right now. As you rightly mentioned, we rolled out this whole experience of the future format, which has made our stores very modern, very relevant to your Gen Z customers also, who've just started kind of eating out on their own with their friends and are enjoying the experience because it's so digital forward, and that's what they have grown up with. In addition to that, we've introduced stuff like McCafe. It's something that we're very proud of because, again, we believe back in 2013, while coffee sounds very interesting today, it was a very nascent category back then. And we took this bold move to introduce McCafe in our restaurants and actually, dedicate a part of our restaurants to this cafe experience. And it led the wave of specialty coffee in our country. And, we can proudly say today that it's not only increased the experience of our customers, or enhanced, the experience of our customers, it's also made us leaders of coffee in our region. Actually, we sell more cups of coffee than anyone in our competitor set in our region.
Leaders of coffee, very interesting. Now my next question actually pertains to that. Tell us about bringing coffee culture in India. What are some of the challenges that you faced while entailing this?
So coffee, again, super exciting category. I'm very excited to see how it evolves. But back in 2013, it was a pretty nascent category. You had some brands in the competitor set who actually had created at least some sort of coffee culture. But again, education was very low in terms of what a true quality cup of coffee tastes like, what are the, tenets of coffee that make a good cup of coffee, like for example, the quality of the barista, the quality of the equipment, the quality of the beans. I think in the last 10 years, we've done a great job, at least in educating the mass in terms of how you can get a great cup of coffee at a great price.
Now, Akshay, you're a next-gen leader yourself. So what are your key lessons from your journey that younger entrepreneurs who are looking forward to enter into the QSR space should follow?
Number one lesson is be patient. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We say that very routinely at the business because, to win the consumer, to win retail in our country, you have to have a long-term mindset. And I think that I've actually established this patience over a period of time. When I started out, I was obviously very impatient, very aggressive for all the right reasons. Today, I still have that same hunger, but it's a lot more balanced because of the patience that I've developed. Secondly, always keep the consumer at the center, like we discussed. I think that you can't take the consumer for granted. You've got to always stay on your toes. We call it productive paranoia.
Now, Akshay, tell us your approach to cater to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. What are some of the demand trends you've noticed there?
So again, a very exciting area of growth. That's what kind of differentiates India from the rest of the world. We have a very young population, very aspirational, and as a lot of other economies are slowing down, ours is only going to continue to grow. And again, Tier 2, Tier 3 represents that in principle because they are very aspirational in these cities. They are very loyal to brands. They prefer great experiences over everything else. That actually forms their whole value for money equation in their heads. So I think that, almost, I would say 20 to 30% of our new store openings are in these Tier 2, Tier 3 cities over a year as we continue to penetrate the metros, and a very exciting opportunity for growth.
Right. Now, lastly, speaking of your stores, you've envisioned to open 45 to 50 stores every year by 2027. So what are some of the strategies that you have in place, and what does the future look like for Westlife Foodworld?
So very exciting. We 2 years ago unveiled a vision of ours. We call it Vision 2027. And the whole idea was that, how do we give a 5-year guidance to all stakeholders in terms of our growth plans? A key part of that obviously was store expansion, where we said, we're going to increase our store expansion pace from say 25, 30 restaurants to 45, 50 restaurants. And, medium term, we see 1,000 stores at least in our region, quite comfortably. Obviously, our first milestone is around 600 stores, odd by 2027, and that's the math of 45 to 50 every year. A lot of them, will be balanced between the west and south. A lot of opportunity in the south where we're a little under-penetrated. We entered the market a little later, and the southern customer is a little different, from what we've seen in the west. There are some insights that we've already capitalized on. For example, they, love eating chicken with all their meals, so we have a very strong chicken portfolio in South India. So that's a key area, in terms of our expansion plans where we have opportunity, in addition to the Tier 2, Tier 3s that we spoke about.
Good luck with that, Akshay. Thank you so much for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was great to give you some insights about our vision.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.